I am a people pleaser. I actually want to be a people pleaser. That sounds odd, doesn't it? Because we think of people pleasing, we think of it in a kind of a negative way. And I've even said in another video, I remember that at my age, I no longer have to be a people pleaser. And of course, by that, I meant that I don't live just to make other people happy and to make them think well of me. Now, that would be people pleasing, just being a doormat, just doing whatever anybody else wants you to do and letting people basically take advantage of you. Now, that's true. I'm done with that. But I got to thinking today about what it could mean to be a people pleaser in a positive way. This all started this morning when I was walking to the market. I bought some vegetables for lunch, and on my way back from the market, I was walking behind a man who was blind. And he was walking along the pavement, tapping his cane and greeting people as they came by, just from hearing them come by. And as I came up behind him, I was walking a little faster than he was. And so he greeted me even before I passed him, and just good morning, nice day, have a good day. And I thought, this guy has an attitude that's very pleasant. And I got to thinking about what it would mean to look at people pleasing in a different way, to think of being pleasing or being pleasant. We could say if somebody has a pleasant personality, or if it's just pleasant to be around somebody, then that is a positive thing. That's something that we can enjoy. And if I can be pleasant around people, that has to do with kindness and consideration. But I just really got to thinking about that as a goal for relationships and interaction, even with people I have maybe no relationship with at all. Just a few weeks ago, I was involved in putting on a conference, a rather large event, and I'm on the committee for preparing this conference. And so we're getting everything ready, and I arrived the day before with our committee so that we can get everything ready. And I was thinking about the coordinator of our committee and how she had been under so much stress, not just with the preparations for the conference, but with some family matters also. And just thinking, what could I do for her? What could I do that would set her at ease so she could enjoy the conference even while working hard and have a better frame of mind for everything? And as I thought of that, I don't know what I could do for her. So yeah, I asked her husband some questions and came up with a nice idea, bought some flowers and some chocolate, and just prepared to leave her gift in her hotel room as a surprise. All I wanted was to think of her seeing it and just taking that deep breath and smiling and thinking, yeah, this is going to be okay. And it worked, and it turned out that the flowers that I got were her favorites, and I didn't even know that. But just the thought of what I could do to give her a pleasant moment and be pleasing to her, in that way, focusing on people pleasing, at least for me, is something that I really want to do. I have heard some people say, well, at my age, I'm finding that I just don't need people anymore. I don't need to be around people. People are stressful. People treat you badly. And so I'm just going to be by myself, and I don't need friends. Friends will let you down. And all these negative things about being around people, being social. Now, I got to tell you, if a person goes that road, that can be destructive. That can be very harmful, because even if you are a loner or an introvert like I am, I'm an introvert. I can spend hours, I can spend days by myself, and I'd be fine. I like myself well enough. I think I'm pretty good company for myself. So that's not a problem. But I do like to be with people, and I'm not antisocial, even though I can get awfully quiet. But I'm not antisocial because I know that I thrive on what I get from relationships, whether they're close relationships or whether they're very casual relationships. Because when you cut yourself off from other people, then that is a dangerous place to be. Because we are made to be social creatures. We've got all the gifts in us for it, and there's a reason for that. It is unhealthy to be antisocial. It is unhealthy not to be with people, not to have those connections with people, because mentally, as far as your mental health and also your physical health, as far as your brain, the way we're wired is that our brain needs that stimulation, and especially in later years, because if it doesn't get that, then your cognitive health is going to suffer. And that has been proven, that when elderly people are put in situations or put themselves in situations where they are isolated and they don't have that contact and that interaction with people, cognitive decline is the result. So we do need that, whether we think we do or not. And it's so easy just to say, well, people have let me down. And this is my time of life to where I'm just going to do what I want, and I'm not going to worry about pleasing everybody else. Now, that's almost like saying, well, I'm so tired of planting all the time and having everybody else harvest what I plant. Well, if you say, I'm just going to harvest for myself, and I'm not going to plant for other people anymore, well, if you stop planting, pretty soon you won't have a harvest even for yourself. And that's how it is with our relationships. If we sow into our relationships in healthy ways, and I say relationships, it's not even always people that you really know, but having an idea of how to be kind to people, how to show consideration for other people. And I know that you've been in situations too, where you have an opportunity to do something or not do something, and it really doesn't make any difference to you whether you do or not. Like when you're driving, at least here, I live in Guatemala, and the way that people drive here, it's pretty crazy. And so I like to give people breaks in front of me. And sometimes just for the look on their face of shock of, wow, you gave me a break, thank you. Because sometimes it's really hard to maneuver in traffic here. And I'm sowing a good seed because later on I'm going to need a harvest. But just the idea that I don't know that person and I'm not going to get any response from them except for maybe the smile. But it's a kindness, it's a seed, it's something we sow into people. So it happens in the smallest, in the most casual of relationships and situations, and that goes on and builds. When we take the time, when we put the effort into thinking just a little bit farther on how can I please that person? How can I do something, say something? I mean, it doesn't have to be a money thing. It's not like buying gifts for people all the time. Sometimes it's just a word. Sometimes it's just speaking to somebody when you know they need it. For example, of course I like YouTube. I'm on YouTube and I like to watch YouTube, and I've gotten to know some YouTube creators and I watch their videos, and sometimes I'll see a video where somebody is struggling with something and you can just see it, you can hear it, you can feel it in the video. I like to leave a comment. I like to say something like, hey, I feel what you're going through, but be patient and hang on because it's going to get better. Or just encourage them by saying, you're handling this in the right way. This is going to work for you. Anything you can do, even just a comment on a video, it's surprising how that can lift you up. I know I've had comments on some of my videos when they've been tricky ones, and it has really lifted me up. So all these things that we can do to please people, to be pleasant, if we can turn the meaning of people pleasing into something that actually can be positive in our lives, sowing seeds in people's lives, whether they're casual relationships or even perfect strangers. And in doing that, we can make our lives better, we can grow in ourselves, and sometimes even form new relationships. You never know. And you never know what somebody's going through and what a word can do to lift them up. We just need to be secure enough in who we are to be able to give out to others. When people have made themselves into doormats and let themselves be taken advantage of in the wrong way and try to please people, try to make an impression on people, try to just get an image so that I can get into this group or I can be friends with these people. That is the negative side of people pleasing. But the positive side of people pleasing is when we can be pleasant. It's when we can be secure enough in who we are, knowing who we are. I don't have any problem with my identity anymore, and that is one of the wonderful things about having all this gray hair and getting to this point of life. Took me long enough, but I figured out who I am. And because I know who I am, that's the person that I can be to other people. I know I'm a child of God. I know I'm secure. I know that I have something that I can give to people, whether it has monetary value or whether it's just a word. And I know you've got so much to give people too. So let's not discard the idea of people pleasing, but let's turn it around. Let's shift it around to where it can be something that's a tremendous blessing to the people that are around us, to build them up, to give them strength, to give them courage. Our lives are too short to miss those opportunities. So let's live well, let's live generously, and let's be kind. Random acts of kindness, never a bad idea. So thanks for being with me for these few minutes in this video. I'm glad you watched until the end. If you're liking it, you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm here for you, and I love to read your comments. So be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.